Our undercover filmmaker Lee has now been in Xinjiang for over a week. By asking questions about the detention camps, he's taking a huge personal risk. Lee finds that many Han Chinese are in favor of the camps and also hears shocking degrees of racism.
这就是傻人，脑子有问题，一仗啊。说，毕竟就他们那智商，哎呀，大多数都只知道就说是放给他，而且真的，他们这个惰性特别厉害。现在就是强制性的，你让他们去学习，从这个思想上彻底改变。
But Lee also finds that some Han Chinese are beginning to have doubts about the camps. He's introduced to someone who works in Xinjiang's security sector.
国家有钱啊，来你去管你怎么学习，给你付穿啊，或者材料的，怎么了？老了，管受掉了。有些人能嘛，你不老实吧，学习。那你搞得服服帖帖的。 对不对？哎，我们爸爸就是选举的，他不收掉呀，对不对？他必须得上来的，他们要够的呀。
Gulzire's sister, Gulgine, has still not been released from the camps after flying back to Xinjiang over 18 months ago.
Ben oleme, singlim qanday chidayotgandi, psixikasi buzilib sarang bo'lib qolganmidi. Singlim shunchalik bir qaysar bir qiz bo'ldi-ku, ham undan naqchiliklarga chidab turmaydigan bir qiz bola. Shunchalik bir tasolatga qoldim. 21-asrda bir sekund minutning ichida ko'ralaydigan uydagilarimni ko'rolmay. Hatta osmondagi qushlarga ba'zi so'zlab qolmanchu. Sizlar boralaysizlar mening do'ltimga, sizlar balki mashlarni mening salimimni singlimga uydagilarimga yetkazib qo'yasizlar deb.
Of the estimated million or more Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities in the camps, none know when they will be released. But even those not in detention are also being targeted. They're being experimented on to advance Chinese technology that will change our world. In the last few years, Urumqi has rapidly turned into one of China's key tech hubs. China's president has great ambitions for his country.
中华民族伟大复兴的巨轮正在乘风破浪前进，向着建设世界科技强国的伟大目标奋勇前进。
There are now around 1,400 tech companies working in Xinjiang. We want to know why they're there. We spent months tracking down and persuading an engineer to talk to us, who worked on the surveillance technology being developed in Xinjiang. He asked for his identity to be concealed, as he has relatives in China.
Hükümete nispeten hazır Uygurlar bir insan sanılışını etiketti. Bu xuddi fen texnik uğurlarda çaşkanı sınav qilgandek.
He has detailed first-hand knowledge of how the government gathers data on the Uyghur population.
Uygurların ofşarlığı yetiştirdiği kaynasan Birinciden kamera uyunu aldığı şey hakkında adamın var. İkinciden bütün kimlikler hakkında yeri bağırsadı bütün kimlik tizimi tutu. Hatta çoğu şamtanlık kırış mesela sol saraylık kırış bulamıyor. Küçükden en küçük mesela üzünün şovçusu kırıştın tatip mesela korasa kırıştın mı? Kimlik söküp kırıcı. Çok cemaat xavfsizlik organlarına mülazimiyetlerine toplanıyor.
The Uyghurs' home region has become one huge human laboratory.
In 2017, the Chinese state began a data collection process, which is really what supports the technology in general.
Darren Byler studies Uyghur language and culture and lived in Xinjiang for several years.
They asked all people in the province to go to their local police station and submit data, which ranged from DNA collection, blood and fingerprints, to speaking into a microphone to get a unique voice signature for each person, and to have a facial scan.
The Chinese authorities are also running special programs in Xinjiang named Homestay and Becoming Family. They involve 1 million Han Chinese sent as uninvited guests into Uyghurs' homes like this one.
现在这不新疆在搞这个民族团结这一块嘛，民族团结一家亲这一块嘛，这样呢，他呢也是我们家的这个结亲对象。
The Han Chinese visitors are described by the authorities as relatives. In reality, they're spies for the government.
The relatives are inputting data that they're gathering that presents a biographical profile for each person that they're monitoring.
Many Uyghurs' houses are also individually marked with digital barcodes. Lee films them.
Police officers come on a regular basis to scan that code, and then the code would pull up your file on their smartphone, and then they would make sure that only the people that are registered for that house are in that house.
As well as knowing the details of the lives of Uyghurs behind closed doors, phones are examined at the network of police posts. The Chinese communist official who told us earlier that Uyghurs have no human rights describes the security checks.
手机拿着，把手机赶紧给人家，人家拿东西查，就把你手机里面的东西全部看得清清楚楚。有好多人就是一看手机，跟我走。
Uyghurs are now required to install an app on their phones to monitor for content the government deems suspicious.
There's an emerging ecosystem of apps being developed by the police in Xinjiang, all of which lead to a level of intrusiveness into everyday life that is unprecedented.
Hazır dünyadaki en katlık başkurulayotgan rayon Xitayning bizning Xinjiang rayonidagi Uyg'urlarga ilib berilayotgan bu nazorat.
One of the leading Chinese technology companies working hand in hand with the government in Xinjiang is this one, Leon.
In Xinjiang Autonomous Region, Leon assists communication operators to jointly build information society bases on 5th generation.
Leon is a key actor, helping the authorities here build the most complete surveillance state in history.
With providing border security. In Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, Leon helps Shihezi's project of Tranquil City. In Kashgar, local public security bureau in constructing and operating security and protection system.
Posing as a businessman with an interest in the tech sector, our undercover filmmaker Lee manages to get a meeting with Leon executives.
现在新疆做的安防的话，是全国来说国家是最上心的，主要提供像基于整点呀，或者说视频结构化。您看到，就是每一条小路、每一条街道，它都会有摄像头，哪怕你只是一个小巷里面，它分出有不同的方向，它都会有摄像头，就是基本上是全方位覆盖。所以说，您可能看到觉得这个摄像头它只是一个摄像头，但是你其实不知道，它可能就会被你的这个人。 你在摄像头下面走过去，它会有你所有的信息，包括它会对你的整个行为轨迹，包括你的面部表情，包括你的很多东西，它会进行正的分析。
Our tech engineer explains what it's being used for.
Uyg'urlarniki chiroy ifodasini dastlabki chiroy ifodaları bu sistemda oldin selishtirilgan sonliq ma'lumotlar ombrishchiga kirgizib o'tilgan. Shunga buningda asosan analiz qilinganlar tipik Uyg'urlar nuqtalik analiz qilindi. Bu analizga asosan kompyuterda bu odamning xatarlik odam, normal odam yoki qisman benormal odam chiroy tonish sistemasi orqali uning harakatining jiddiy emasligini, odatda juglab mashina oldidan o'tkazsangizmi sizning xatarlik holat ekanligingizni buni darhol jamoat xavfsizlik tarmoqlari yo urinishga oldirdi va yoki qamoqxonaga oldirdi.
Collaboration between the Chinese government and technology companies goes even further. We're about to be told by Leon executives that their company's at the heart of a highly secret state project.
新疆在整个全国乃至全世界，它现在整个安防这一块，它有很多非常成熟的这个解决方案，包括能够实际落地和应用的这样一些场景。
其实安防我表面两个字，但是其实有怎么样的一些应用呢？
这个具体的不方便多说，因为这个很多安防这方面它是涉及到涉密的，它是涉密的。
Leon participates in maintenance of cloud data room in order to ensure the information enabled.
What the Leon managers don't want to talk about involves this revolutionary new system.
To help the government establish more efficient infundization system and provide perfect services for operation and maintenance, which unclogs information.
Our tech expert knows about its monitoring capabilities.
Bu bir kompüter sistemsi. Her jihatdagi sonliq ma'lumotlar uchurlari to'plangan bir ko'lga o'xshaydi mesela. G'oyat zo'r bir kompyuter.
Powered by artificial intelligence, or AI, the system tries to identify behaviour the government considers threatening. In effect, it follows your every move.
Bu telefonun ichidagi yo'llangan barliq uchur, suratga tortilgan barliq rasm, urilgan telefon, dingli o'rin barliq Uyg'urlarning munosabatlik sonliq ma'lumotlari shu ITH so'zlar keng targa to'planib fanshisi mush orqali fanshi qildi. Har qanday gumonliqlik degan odamlarning hammasi so'lidi. So'lash orqali intayin cho'ng tutib bir vahim paydo qilish orqali qo'rqinchni Uyg'urlarning ichki kayfiyati qo'rqinchni eng yuksak darajaga ko'tarib
It's an environment where cutting-edge Chinese tech companies can demonstrate the capacities of their AI-driven systems to control a population. But I think we'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else in the world where the combination of cutting-edge technology and brutal policing methods exists.
We should strengthen communication with relevant countries and attract more countries and regions to participate.
The global AI business is worth hundreds of billions of pounds.
A new harmony times.
There is potentially a huge market for these technologies in China and worldwide, which, as Lee discovers, Leon are keen to profit from.
我们现在已经知道了，就是新疆这边做完了以后，现在在其他的一些省份也开始在按照新疆的这样的模式在做。
现在就是比较近的，我们家新疆背靠中亚，中亚这一块呢，它的反恐维护各种安防类的需求还是比较强烈的。
Qandaq bu bir xalqni bostirish, ularning erkinligini cheklaydigan bu qurollarni, masalan, bundan kamera, uchraytunish sistemasi, IT hopping dediklarni eng dastlabda Xinjiang rayonida Uyg'urlarga keng ko'lamda sinab qilib, uning kamchiliklarini to'liqlab mukammallashtirib, chet elga eksport qildi. Texmo xalqni yaxshi kontrol qilib bo'lganligidek, mushjatdagi ilg'orligini texmo gavdalantirib turib tashviqot edib berdi.
Xinjiang has global implications because what we're seeing is the early stages of a new form of governance that is controlled through advanced predictive algorithmic surveillance. Those systems will be exported in. That would be a massive setback to the cause of human freedom, if you like, to liberal democracy around the world.
We are coming. No distance, no disharmony. You and me.
Leon is just one of many tech companies in Xinjiang working for the state to enforce surveillance. Chinese telecoms giant Huawei, which is expected to set up parts of the UK's 5G network, is also active in Xinjiang. It's working with the Public Security Bureau here, providing tech support and training, as well as managing databases. Huawei's cooperation was officially cited as ensuring Xinjiang's social stability and long-term security. To the UK and others, Huawei says it operates independently of Beijing, but they're certainly very close. In April this year, state media reported that Huawei signed another government contract in Urumqi that involves work in what is called intelligent security. We approached Leon Technology and Huawei about the issues raised in this program, but they did not respond. Despite the steps taken by the Chinese government in Xinjiang, very few governments, including those of Muslim countries, have made any public protests. That is the power of China.
If this were pretty much any other country, we could expect a much stronger reaction from around the world. Governments are afraid to pressure China or even to recognize, to say what's happening, because they're worried that it will jeopardize their economic relations with China. And China obviously has a lot of economic power.